We're going to start today with our municipal guest, Austin Village Mayor Rika Levin. We'll have some words as we're going into Domestic Violence Awareness Month between both Robbie Schlaff, who is our Executive Director of our Westchester County Office for Women, and then certainly the Executive Director of Hope's Door, Carla Horton, will come up and talk to us. We're also going to let you have the information about the upcoming Westchester County budget public input sessions, including tonight up in Yonkers, down in Yonkers tonight from 4 to 6 p.m. Talk a little bit about the 988 Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month, the 988 roundtable that we had today. And then we'll wrap it up, of course, with Deputy County Executive Richard Wishney telling us everything that's going on in the parks and making sure that we remind people to use the Parks app. But starting off today, we're going to have the village mayor from the village of Ossining on the Hudson, being able to see so many great things that are going there. Something that's up the river, certainly the Sing Sing Penitentiary and all of the history that surrounds that, but really the great work that's happening with the village and the continuing economic development that's happening, some things that will be done on flood mitigation and things that are happening, the continued growth of Ossining. So it is a pleasure and a privilege to bring up my friend, Ossining Village Mayor Rika Levin. Mayor.
Thank you. Hi. Good afternoon. Always a pleasure to be here with County Executive Jenkins, Deputy County Executive Richard Wishney, son of Ossining. I always have to refer to you and the other folks that are here to talk about such important topics today. Since I was last here, I just want to do a update about my wonderful village on the Hudson, 30,000 folks on about 3.5 square miles. There's also a town of Ossining, run by Supervisor Liz Feldman. What I want to talk about today, housing is a very, very big topic. And so when we looked at housing in Ossining a number of years ago, we made a strategic decision to look for grants to help us and not put the load on our taxpayers. And we looked at what it takes to provide more housing, employment, walkability, et cetera. And what we realized, it takes a 360-degree view of the downtown and then all of the other pieces of our village in order to make housing happen. We have to look at investing in police. We have to look at investing in fire departments. We have to look at investing in sidewalks. We have to look at investing in small businesses, in parks, and everything that is required for an increasing population. We estimate that over the past couple of years and towards the next 10 years, we will see a 1% increase in population. That is a huge increase in population. And so what we started with is revamping our community center. I spoke about that last time I was here with the county executive. We are well into that program. We are through DRI initiatives, which came from the governor's office. We are now really halfway through selling off a village property, which became housing, all affordable housing, with about on 30 Water Street, with a view of both a park and a view of the Hudson River, right in the middle of our village. We are continuing to do more in our community center, and we have now moved into a new project, which I'd like to announce, 34 State Street, which is a very congested part of our community, but here's what we're excited about. We are going to have development overlooking the Hudson, so they're like $2 million views, not $1 million, $2 million views of the Hudson River, but it's actually going to be 100 units of condos, really nice condos, swimming pool, etc., parking included in all that, and then 50 units of rentals. But the condos are all affordable condos. And ownership, as we have discovered, is a very important part of housing. We've already done a lot in rental, now we're doing ownership. We also will be developing 2 parking lots that are right literally in the middle of our community that were taken down in the 70s by urban development. And we are now looking, we just announced it a couple of weeks ago, and tonight we're having a second in a series of community engagements on what people would like to see. We're adding 2 more buildings. that is going to be market rate buildings with 10% affordable, literally in the middle of our community, including parking. I'm going to harp on parking because what we've learned in the river towns is if you don't look at developments in a 360-degree view, then you're not doing anyone any justice. Plopping down concrete is really not redevelopment. Creating and building walkable, usable communities is really what it's about. We're also in the process of building a very green parking area, a four-story parking that includes EV stations, but also includes a vendor, actually, which we'll do an RFP on, to have e-bikes and a small park. And we're connecting the entire downtown to the rest of our community. And so those are some of the things that we talk about when we look at how one looks at entire downtown. All of these things that I described are actually walkable. You don't even have to be in great shape. I mean, we're on the side of a cliff, like every river town. But you actually can walk from this to the other. I didn't mention, and I should because the county executive did, the Olive Opera House, which is coming back to life. Construction has started. That was an adjacent project to the DRI. When you get a DRI project, you then can add more projects. And that is where Sing Sing Museum for Social Justice will be located, which again, right in the middle of our community. This is the update I wanted to provide. I wanted to just let you know some of the new things. I invite you always to come to Ossining and call me, and I'll take you on a beautiful tour. And next time I'm here, I'm sure I'll have more to update, but I'm very excited about some of these projects that we have going on here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. That was Rika Levin, the mayor from the village of Ossining. She pointed out and gave a shout out to the town supervisor, that Liz Feldman in the town of Ossining, and talked about specifically and honed in on some opportunities. We want to congratulate and thank Mayor Levin for her leadership and vision, because again, most of the villages, pro-housing community, and on top of that, to be able to do so many things in the affordable housing space. And we have had examples of at least 3 communities, Ossining being the latest version of that with the affordable home ownership. Again, it's a part of the whole complex conversation when you talk about ownership or affordable housing. It's not just the rental component, it's also the ownership component where people get to a stage where they're ready to move in and have ownership of those properties. And we always remind people in affordable ownership, it's a little bit different than a straight up home ownership, but at the end of the day, it's something that's important to make sure that every member of the community could take advantage and be still staying in the place that they grew up in many times, but they love. And again, anytime you get a chance to be on the beautiful Hudson River, as the village of Ossining and all of our river towns and those things to get to do, we want to continue to say thank you and congratulations on supporting affordable housing, because we all know that we need it for people that need to age in place, that want to continue to stay in the communities they grew up and lived in, or for our young folks that are just starting out. So whether they're public employees, government employees, and just taking care of business, teachers, transportation workers, or DPW, all those folks are the kind of folks that are eligible for affordable housing. So again, thanks a lot, Mayor Levin. It's always great to see you here. Up next, as you see, we're going into October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we have the purple on. I would have wore the purple tie, should I thought of that ahead of time, but I know we have the ribbon. But more importantly, we have the director of our Westchester County for Office for Women, Robbie Schloff, and the executive director of Hope's Draw, Carla Horton, will talk with us in recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. They're going to talk about the county's efforts to raise awareness, share resources, and highlight the importance of supporting survivors of domestic violence right here in Westchester County. Westchester County provides over $11 million funding to help support victims and their families. So with that, we're going to ask first Robbie Schloff to come up with Carla Horton. You can come up together and be here and talk through that. Robbie?
Hang out with us. Do I get a hug?
Yes, you do. Carla, thank you.
Thank you, Ken. I'm very proud to stand here today with you and with Carla. As you know, Westchester County stands out for its coordinated community response to domestic violence, and you talked about the funding for it, and it's more than just funding. And it's a result of your leadership years ago when you codified the Office for Women, when you served on the Board of Legislators, that really gave us the opportunity to do more for domestic violence victims and families suffering from violence in the county. So our office, the Office for Women, works tirelessly, not just for women, but all victims of domestic violence, 12 months a year. What we do in October is we remind everyone and re-engage public awareness that domestic violence, unfortunately, is not going away. And that's what we have in October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In fact, the trend in Westchester County, unfortunately, is that the cases are becoming more serious, more violent, with more fatalities, both with homicides and the suicides that are attached to some of these homicides. We, with your support, have been able to respond to this uptick in violence by impactful programming that is recognized as a model around the state and around the country. And that is our domestic violence high-risk team, which Carla is going to talk a little bit about also. That takes a comprehensive approach, bringing together law enforcement, county departments of probation, public safety, community mental health, social services, our partner domestic violence agencies, and the district attorney's office. So we like to say we can't prevent catastrophes, we just like to mitigate the risk. And DIVERT focuses on mitigating the most catastrophic cases of DV violence by specially training officers in their response. When they respond to a domestic incident, it teaches them trauma-informed investigating, how to deal with victims, and understanding the neurobiology of trauma, which is what you need when you're responding to such a crisis call. So after the cops respond, the officers reach out to Westchester Medical Center, and they actually place a call from the scene and put the victim on the phone with a specially trained advocate who answers the phone 24/7 and provides immediate safety planning. And resources. They ask the person on the other end of the phone, the person in crisis, do you have a safe place to go today? Do you have a clean phone? Do you have some of the necessities for being safe that day and in the near future? All these cases come through our office, the Office for Women, and the District Attorney's Office, and we follow up within 48 hours. Usually it's 24, usually it's faster, but 48 hours is the longest it takes us to reach out to the victim to make sure that the family is safe and that they have the resources that they need. One of the trends that we've seen just blow up is cyberstalking, not surprisingly. The offenders see how they can use technology to harass and stalk their victims. We work with the New York State Cyber Abuse Task Force, and we've trained police officers throughout the county. We've also trained judges in cyber stalking so they can add that to their orders of protection. And we work with domestic violence service providers to make sure that that's one of the first things that you talk to a victim about. We remind people to get rid of their location devices and notification apps from their phones so that they cannot be stalked physically or harassed through technology. So I want to emphasize that our office, the Office for Women, provides a full range of resources and assistance to adult individuals impacted by family violence. It could be between partners, elder abuse, sexual assault, and stalking. But we can only help you if you reach out for help. All our cases are completely confidential. We have Spanish-speaking advocates in every one of our offices. If you look at our website, women.westchestergov.com, you will get information where our locations are, how to make an appointment, or you can just walk into any of the 3 family courts and ask to speak to someone at the Office for Women. We're located in Yonkers, New Rochelle, and White Plains Family Court. This month, there will also be a table downstairs in this office building with brochures and resources for those in need. And if it's you, or if it's a family member or a friend that needs help, please reach out to us, because all of our goal is to keep families and communities safe. We build on the strong and collaborative relationships we've developed in Westchester. This has been going on. I always turn to Ken. I'm like, what year did you codify the Office for Women? We've been doing this a long time, and it shows and it works. And in alignment with this year's theme for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we stand with survivors always and continue our commitment to them this year and every year. I'll turn it over to Carla now, my colleague.
I have some good news and some not so good news. And the not so good news is what led to the good news. And it's called the STRIVE Initiative. Stands for Statewide Targeted Reductions in Intimate Partner Violence. Good news is we're getting a whole lot of new money through Governor Hochul's STRIVE Initiative. And the reason it's kind of sad bad news is because we have such high rates of intimate partner violence. Particularly, we have targeted through data, evidence-based analysis, that we really need to do more in the towns of Mount Vernon and Yonkers. So what's going to happen? It's going to be an extension of the high-risk program, if you would, that we started through the Westchester County Domestic Violence High-Risk Team, but we're going to take what we learned with DIVERT, as the acronym says, and we're going to really focus a laser on the towns of Mount Vernon and Yonkers, who have the highest rates of intimate partner violence in the county. And what are we and the partners going to do? We're going to really work rooted in survivor-centered, trauma-informed, culturally competent services. It's a terrific thing. But why is it a terrific thing when you have to weigh that against why we got that funding in the first place? Because what we need to do is to enhance those services. So the STRIVE Initiative is structured this way. It's a 3-person executive board. That executive board is comprised of our district attorney, Susan Cacase, Paul Rice, who is the chief of police in Yonkers, and myself, Carla Horton, as executive director of a domestic violence agency. And while we think we 3 people are terrific, we know we cannot do this work without other support. Robbie, the County Office for Women, is a key partner. My sister's place, Domestic Violence Agency, is another partner. Mount Vernon and their Deputy Commissioner, Jennifer Lackard, is a key partner to this, along with County Probation. Because as we've heard, domestic violence, well, heightened recognition during October, happens 12 months a year. 12 months a year, women are subjected to isolation, coercive control. Their children cower under beds and in closets. Their families are distraught, just wanting to know what they can do to stop the violence, to help with safety, to gain financial independence, to heal from the horrific day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute abuse, not all of which is physical, not all of which rises to a level of a criminal act. So what are we going to do? We're going to stand in unity. We're going to stand with the county execs, administration. We're going to work with the County Office for Women. The high-risk team works with every one of the 43 police departments in the county, all built from a 5-town pilot project back in 2017. We have learned so much from survivors who inform our work and from our partners who make everything that we do that's good happen. We will learn, we will do better, we'll reduce harm, we'll reduce the number of fatalities, and it's the primarily female victims, but also when we first started, data showed that Westchester had the second highest rate of children killed in domestic violence of any part of New York except New York City itself. I could stand up here if allowed a few more minutes and read the list of names that's ever growing. The children, now we're up to 40 children killed since Kira's murder. What was that, 9 years ago, 11 years ago, because of what needs to happen in family courts in particular in regard to custody and visitation. Lastly, I think you can see that survivors really are not alone. If they knew that they could call the Office for Women or the Hope Store hotline, and yes, I'll give a plug, 888-438-8700. You are not alone. So many are standing by, ready to help you. Please, pick up the phone, make the call. We know it's the most courageous, brave thing you'll ever do, but we are here to help all of us. Thank you.
Well, first, thank you again. That was our Director of our Office for Women, Robbie Schloff, and the Executive Director of Hope Store, Carla Horton. And certainly as we're going into Domestic Violence Awareness Month, it is all of Westchester County working together. Thanking Robbie Schloff for the plug about when we codified the Office for Women. It was created, I believe, under County Executive O'Rourke. That's how long ago it was created, but it was an office of the county executive. It was not its own department, and what we did, we were able to move that forward, to be able to make sure that it was its own department, which means a little bit different things on how it is managed and how it is recognized from a budgetary perspective, but also from the respect of all the legislators. And certainly we're joined this afternoon with legislators Erica Lang-Pierce and legislator Jewel Williams-Johnson. And we don't do this stuff alone. We work with our colleagues on the Board of Legislators who have passed legislation, including the lock changing domestic violence victims, to make sure that people can get their locks changed and be able to do those kind of things, as well as the $11 million of funding that is supported by the legislature that we do moving forward. But again, going into Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the Office for Women, in combination with both Hope Store and My Sister's Place and all of the other agencies that we have out there, Pace Women's Justice Center also taking care of another set of people in domestic violence situations. There is nothing that we're not going to continue to do to help support those victims and their families to try to navigate through the challenging times, and as Carla said, with the most difficult and brave phone calls that they have to start with. So again, thank you so much, and we're going to continue throughout October having discussions and having opportunities to raise more awareness, highlight the importance of supporting the survivors and their families here in Westchester County. So thank you so much. All right. So now today we're on September 29th, and we're doing our first budget public input session prior to submitting the budget to the Board of Legislators by charter, which is November 10th by charter. And tonight is going to be that first session that we have this evening. That is from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Yonkers Public Library. So 4 to 6 p.m. at the Yonkers Public Library at 1 Larkin Center. That's downtown Yonkers, right at the Yonkers train station. And what that will do is give us an opportunity before we, to get input from you while we're trying to shape the budget in a challenging year. Certainly, those of you that wish to submit written comments, you can do so emailing info@westchestergov.com or communications, as well as communications@westchestergov.com, to be able to provide some input prior to us submitting the budget to the Board of Legislators, and then they'll have consideration. They usually have at least 3 sessions, one that is finalized, which is the first week in December. That'll be in the Board of Legislators chamber, and which will be chaired by the Budget Chair Jewel Williams-Johnson is here with us this afternoon. So we're looking forward to all of that. We know that, again, it's a challenging budget year all around, and we're going to continue to say that by listening to the input of people of the things that they feel are important from our Westchester County budget. This is your opportunity to do so prior to us submitting to the Board of Legislators, and then you'll have some more time to do that with the County Board of Legislators in their public hearings as we continue to move down this path. This morning, we had, in recognition of this month, and the last day of this month is tomorrow, September is Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. We had a roundtable discussion with advocates, business leaders, and nonprofit groups to promote the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline here in Westchester County. The 988 call center, which is operated in partnership between Westchester County and St. Joseph's Medical Center, provides free and confidential emotional support to people in crisis or emotional distress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it is staffed, and you are answered not with an AI or anything like that. That's a person that's on the other end of the phone to be able to do this. The round table created an opportunity from leaders from various sectors to exchange ideas, share resources, and discuss best practices to expand the reach of 988 across Westchester County. The participants today focused on the importance of coordinating outreach and a unifying message to ensure that more people are aware of this life-saving service, including making sure that we're reducing the stigma of folks that are seeking that level of support. There are signs in parking lots that we've heard some examples today about people seeing the sign and calling from the sign in a parking lot or different places. We have some material that we've been giving out, whether it's magnets, it's a business card that has a QR code that you can scan to be able to get that help right here in Westchester. Having this 988 call center right here has proven to be a significant help to thousands of people, with the call center receiving nearly 18,000 calls in 2024 alone. Yet we found that many people across the county are not yet aware of the 988 service, and we're working as a team to make sure to educate the public that 988 exists and that it can save lives. And once again, everything that we do to remind friends, family members, acquaintances, business community folks that we know that 988 number is available. Many businesses have employee assistance lines, but everyone is not always ready to utilize that. This 988 number is a confidential number as well, and be able to provide and direct you to the support and services that people might need and be able to take advantage of here in Westchester. So once again, the 988 roundtable brought together leaders to do that. But again, we're listening to their input to be able to try to make sure to get more people aware of this, especially during Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. With that, we're going to turn over to the Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney, who will let us know about everything going on in the park system. Mr. Deputy County Executive.
Thank you, sir. Good to be with you. I do want to make a comment first. I've had a lot of years in Westchester County government, and I go back a long time with both Robbie and Carla. The work you're doing is amazing. You're both great leaders. Your work is unfortunately needed, continue to be needed, but we've made a lot of progress over the years thanks to both of you. At this time, I do want to take the opportunity to mention a couple of things that are happening in our nationally accredited and award-winning park system. On this Friday, October 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 11:30, we're going to have a program called Write and Be Well Walks. That's going to be held at the now newly named Lasden Public Gardens and Veterans Memorial in Katona. You can practice and enjoy being present and aware in the fresh autumn air with a gentle and friendly weekly walk. Your guide will provide prompts to appreciate the abundance of the season and to take notice of our natural surroundings. Participants may stop and sketch or write or walk ahead at their own pace. That's a wonderful program. I hope people will take advantage of it. And on Saturday, October 4th, from 12 p.m. to 3:45, the Hudson River Potters, That's going to be held at the Alfred Del Bello Muscoot Farm in Katona. 4 ceramic artists will be in the mansion on October 4th and 5th, 11th and 12th, and then 7 additional artists will be present on October 18th and 19th, 25 and 26, all to show and sell their amazing pottery. That's on Saturdays from 12 p.m. to 3:45, and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 3:45. Then on Saturday, October 4th, from 1 p.m. to 2:30, we're going to have the Halloween Fairy Houses, again at Lassen Public Gardens and Veterans Memorial in Katona. Calling all Halloween fairies who are aged 5 and up, embraced your spooky side and decorated a whimsical fairy house for the season. It's a $5 charge for each child. And then finally, for the last time this season, we're going to have Bicycle Sunday on our Bronx River Parkway. And again, this is a wonderful opportunity for families all together to be in a safe place for more than a 13-mile opportunity to ride your bike, walk, whatever, be together, and hopefully on this last day, the folks will have an opportunity to have good weather while they do that. Thank you, Mr. County Executive.
Thank you, DCE. And yes, thank you for reminding us all that for that last Bronx River Parkway Final Bicycle Sunday. Certainly, scooters, non-motorized bikes, bicycles, scooters, inline skaters, and an e-bike that's a Class 1 only, plus walkers and joggers, many points of entry and exit along the way, admission being free. We thank all of the sponsors that continue to do that, first with our Westchester Parks Foundation that continues to help support, and 100% of the things they do is to support the nationally accredited and award-winning park system. So thank you for reminding that. And also to download the free Parks app, whether it's on your Android or your Apple phone, go to that specific store, I guess Google Play, or to the App Store and download the official Westchester Parks app. And again, fingers crossed, we'll have another wonderful weekend as we've had for the last 2 for at least Bicycle Sunday. And for those of you that participated with RevFest 250 up at Chrome Point Park on those 2 days, it was a wonderful opportunity to do that as well. We had a chock full of information today, starting with the Ossining Village Mayor, Rika Levin, who came to us and told us all the great things that are happening in Ossining. It's always great to see her. Reminding folks in a more solemn conversation about Domestic Violence Awareness Month and the things that are happening from Executive Director of Hope Store, Carla Horton, and our Director of the Office for the Westchester County Office for Women, Robbie Shaw, and as Richard Wishney, who also has a park in Ossining as well. So he's the Richard Wishney Park, and combining that in the knowledge of what work that both Robbie and Carla have done for domestic violence awareness, helping survivors, helping to navigate so many different things. So again, it's always great for them to be here, but we also understand that the work always is continuing, and they've been doing tremendous work for many, many years, and we are going to continue to help support them through that. Talked about our budget public input session, which is the 29th tonight, as well as next Tuesday, October 7th, which will be in the Mount Kisco Library, Legislator Erica Lang Pierce's district as well. So we'll be able to be there to hear that public input sessions for our 2026 operating budget sessions, and it's your opportunity to talk about that. Talked about the 988 roundtable as far as recognizing and remembering September is Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month, with a roundtable discussion of finding new things that we can do to make life better for everyone else. With that, that's today's weekly briefing. I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins. Thank you so much for watching. Hope we'll see you at one of the 2 public input sessions. If you are interested in sending in a written comment, you could do so as well. If you look online at westchestergov.com, we'll have that link right on the top for you, so you can do that. Otherwise, have a wonderful evening and a great week, and we'll be back to you with more information when it comes next week.